Welcome to Elks 101. Another episode of Elks Central, breaking this one down.
Reagan, touchdown Edmonton! Fajardo, Dunbar, back on top go the Elks!
Okay, welcome in Elks Central, June 22nd. Declan, Eddie, and Rick here recapping Edmonton's win this past weekend against Montreal Alouettes, ending Davis Alexander's undefeated streak and moving to 2-0 for the first time since 2019. Lots of good to talk about here in this one. A little bit of bad too, because you know us, we like to stay objective. We're going to get to all of it. Best record the Elks
have ever had. I'm sorry to come in.
No, come in hot like that because you are absolutely right.
Give me the Jameis now. Come on. They're eating dubs right now. Unheard of.
And doing it impressively, because now they've done it. And granted, this is a very small sample size, but they've done it in two different ways, because that Ottawa game, and listen, I'm not trying to take anything away from Ottawa. I think they're maybe a tier below some of those elite teams in the league. But in that Ottawa game, they actually kind of almost did it in two phases there, where they just looked like the better team through and through. And then they also held off a rally late by Ottawa. And then in this Montreal game, the defense stood tall early when the offense wasn't doing anything. They rallied themselves, kind of fended off another rally. Now, listen, if the fumble goes one way, maybe we're having to, but whatever, fended off another rally and then won that hard fought game in overtime, the quintessential type of game they were losing last year. So through two games this season, the Elks have kind of already won at like four phases, which is very, very impressive. Like I said, we're going to get into it. The biggest thing for me in this game was Justin Rankin. Like, I'm not even going to try and, hey, listen, they did this well schematically. They did this. Like the first quarter, let me just dive into some quick thoughts here before I throw it over you guys. Because the first quarter, I was like, this is looking so rough.
Really bleak.
It's only a matter of time before Montreal blows it open. So when Montreal was up 10-0 in the second quarter and driving, I had my tweet typed out for halftime, my first half thoughts and it was essentially like, the Elks are, as a defense, the defense has played well. Going down to the half, 17-0 will be deflating for them. Then Montreal kicks a field goal. I changed that wording to 13-0. Not as deflating. It's a 2-score game instead of a 3-score game, but I keep it that way. Then Edmonton comes down at the end of the second half and scores, and I'm like, all right, we got something here. But the first half offense was so rough that I don't think they got a first down until the very end of the first quarter. The defense was playing well, but it just, for the brief little bit there in the first period, it kind of looked like there were levels. And I was like, you know what? Edmonton looks like they're a good team. Montreal, still in a lot of facets, looks like they are a great team. And then the game kind of corrected itself as it went on. Obviously, we'll talk about it. But it came down to Justin Rankin. Like, there's not much you can say. There's not much else you can point to. You can be coy and say, the play calling got a lot better. They made their play. Justin Rankin just got the ball and he made things happen. You know what Justin Rankin's yards per carry average was in this one?
Tell me.
Through 18 carries, 9.9 yards. That is a first down every time he carries the ball. Do you know what his receiving average was in this game? 10.2. Every time he caught the ball, that is a first down. And it just gets to a point where you almost get a little bit nervous about it, because you're like, what happens when this dude stops going? Like, what's going to happen to this team? Obviously, we don't have to worry about that problem yet.
But he tugs Austin Mack got though on the season.
Yeah, Austin Mack. It's 2.
2 in 2 games.
So 2 in 2 games. That's a heck of a ratio. He's on pace for 18. That's pretty impressive stuff. And we can talk about him as well. Overall, it was a game with a lot of resolve for this Elks team. It was a game that did have some problems, like we're going to get into, but you just beat a team with a quarterback who had never lost in the regular season, a Grey Cup betting favorite, the number 2 betting favorite in the CFL, a team who was poised to run away with the East, and no one's given you a shot coming into the season. No one gave you a shot coming into this game, and you walked away with it.
Overall synopsis for me is, very aligned with you, obviously. We'll get into the stats and the players.
Imagine if Eddie was just like, listen, Declan, you're a cute kid, but here's everything you said wrong.
No, what really stood out to me, though, is you just touched on Montreal, Davis Alexander, the winning pedigree, Jason Moss, what he's done as a head coach, and just the overall grittiness of Montreal. They know how to win. They look at how they've won throughout this year. They've been OT games where they've clawed their way back, which they did in this game. Edmonton, they're learning how to win. This is what that game was. It's a game where you're continuing to stack and you're learning how to grind it out to the finish. Mm-hmm. And it's not always going to be easy. So this win really signifies to me that the team is turning the corner. in terms of the confidence and understanding how to win. Because it is a learned activity here, fellas. Yep. You do have to learn how to play behind late in games, how to play in tough, difficult scenarios and come out on top, because you see the Winnipegs and the Montreals do it consistently. And Edmonton just showed that they are starting to figure that out. All the stats we'll get into, there's some beautiful stats. But overall as a team, that's the confidence, that's the foundation that they're building on right now. And it's really cool to see.
Yeah, the first quarter, like the keys to the game I had talked to for the Elks were keep the offense on the field, long sustained drives with your running back, things like that. And that was what Montreal was doing early. Like Travis Tice had a really, really good first quarter. Now they did kind of adjust for him later in the game. Then he popped off again a little bit at the fourth quarter when Montreal rallied. But the first quarter was like everything I talked about. This is how Edmonton can win a game, keeping the offense on the field, sustained drives, feeding the running back. That's what Montreal was doing. And Montreal, like, because as good as Travis Tice is, I don't even think we think of him as a top 4 offensive option for that team, which is kind of rare to say about the starting running back. And it's not a knock on him, but you have some elite receivers, and then Davis Alexander, his escapability, his movability, that plays into it as well. But there was a point in the game where I think it was when it was 13-0, might have been 10-0, and the time of possession was 16 minutes for Montreal, 8 for Edmonton. Now it finishes 34 for Montreal to 25 for Edmonton. So from that point where it was 16-8, it goes about 18-19. So it gets a little bit more 50-50. And a lot of that was obviously from Montreal's fourth quarter numbers. But the first quarter, like they couldn't complete a pass. They couldn't get off. They couldn't do anything offensively. Like they couldn't really run the ball. Again, early on, I was kind of thinking, I was like, this is going to be one of those Justin Rankin games where he has a beautiful game the week before, then he comes back and it's 8 yards on the ground with no catches. That didn't happen because in the second quarter he started getting fed. But the first quarter, it left a lot to be desired. And Cody talked about it after the game when we spoke to him. He said, there was a point in the game where I looked up at the scoreboard and it was 10-0. And it felt to me from an offensive perspective, this is Cody talking, like it was 21-0 because we just couldn't get anything done, but it's a credit to what our defense was doing. So the first quarter,
never want to hear that, but
the first quarter, it was rough. They didn't look that sharp. The defense looked good and kept the team in it. Now the defense actually, it was kind of a weird role reversal game where the offense just ascended throughout the game and the defense descended a little bit. Do you guys know what Montreal's total yards of net offense were off the top of your head?
In the 480s?
Yeah, 481. Like that's a lot of yards against you. 500. Yeah, 500 yards. That's a lot to give up.
You're right. It was in the second half too. They were just giving it up. Like a lot of open throws, a lot of open passes, completions. Tackling wasn't an issue.
No.
They were just moving the ball way too fluidly.
Well, my thing with Edmonton, and this isn't necessarily early in the game. It's a little bit more late in the game, especially in that fourth quarter. But my thing with Edmonton that this team they sit in a soft zone and they just get picked apart in it. And it was something that really, really killed them early last season. And then you would also see like it was a combination of two things. Because one, they would sit in these soft zones and your DBs didn't want to tackle. Now your DBs can really tackle. Like they'll fly up and make the and like, dude, like KJ is just a ball of aggression and he will take your legs out. And he's just a guy, playmaker. Absolutely. Like he had one tackle. I forget when it was in the game. It is funny also how it kind of like blends after the fact. You like kind of forget it a little bit.
Well, it's so fresh. And then now that we're talking about it, over 24 hours, here I am just glued to the US Open and stuff, having to talk NHL trades this morning. I'm trying to be like, damn, I thought I had this all fresh. Now it's all blurred.
No, I totally get it. But KJ had a tackle where you're just like, that's why he was the team's defensive player of the year nominee. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they still sit in these soft zones and they just get picked apart.
Can I talk on that?
Yeah, of course.
We talked about, that's the scheme we used to run.
Yeah.
When me and JC played together. Jones would have us rush 3, drop 9. And you do it. Mm-hmm. It's challenging for if you're getting home and if you're creating havoc with your 3. If the quarterback's able to just sit back there with 3 and find the guy, you're going to get picked apart all day.
Yeah. And it's like, the thing about a zone coverage is like zone is easier to play than man for a DB because I mean, for like first, like playing man, so much
Your
benefits.
eyes are to the quarterback.
So yes, that's the biggest one. And then so much benefits to wide receiver. And if you get beaten man, you're generally on an island. Like you might have a safety over the top. You'll probably have a safety over the top, but it depends how he's run. Yeah. Zone is, but the other thing is like when you play a zone defense, you have to pick up a man in that zone. You can't just roam, and they do a lot of roaming and a lot of sitting back. It's like, I don't think they've ran a prevent defense all season, even in that Ottawa game when they had a big lead, nor have they really had to, but it's prevent-esque the way everything is so back off the ball. Now they have the ability to flow to the ball and make tackles, which is a luxury they didn't have last season. So it allows you to play off the ball a little bit, but it's also like, let's not bury the lead. It did almost cost you because it was like 12 yards, 14 yards, 8 yards. It just builds up and it builds up. And the other thing they would do a bunch in that fourth quarter is they would just, whoever the half was, whether it was the field half or the boundary half, they were playing so deep in the flats that they would dump it to Travis Tice and he would just have 8-9 yards of real estate and just pick up. So it's like, it's things like that.
It's hard to make those open field tackles.
Yes,
too.
it is. Especially
these guys in space.
Especially like Travis Tice, kind of an elusive back. Like he's not like a Diedrich Mills. He's a little bit more jumpy, a little bit more east-west. I would like to see them play almost like a cover zero across the board and just say, we trust our guys, because they got guys who can really cover. There's so much risk involved with that. And it doesn't seem to be something that's been worked in too much. And I'm not going to question the mind of JC Sherrod. He obviously knows far better than I do, but it's just like, I would like to see a few more man looks in those situations where it's like, cause I've said this, and maybe I'm the weird one here for thinking this. Like, I think that DB group is so talented. Like, it's one of those situations where it's like, I will take our 5, our 6 with the Sam against your 6 and trust us.
You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong in that thought process with these individuals they have in the secondary. One of my big bold notes at the end was, and we're just hammering it home, the D was too passive. But there was a capital but here. They held up when they needed to. Yes. And there was moments throughout the second half of the game. Yeah, they were getting marched on, but there was some times where either they held them to the field goal, saw Maltos out there a bunch, or they're flushing Davis Alexander out and he's just having to throw an errant throw. So the D did step up, but it was too soft compared to the first half. If you can get a full 60-minute effort like they did in the first half, it's a different ballgame. Game over, to be honest. It wouldn't have even gotten that close.
Yeah, Montreal, they only got to the red zone once. Now, granted, they did convert. They did get a touchdown there, but only one trip to the red zone.
Just move the ball up and down the yard, though.
Yeah. Now, they also did, have 29 points, so there's some scoring outside of the red zone that needs to be, fixed. I think it was Sneed. He had that great catch on Kobe where it was like a little underthrown. Like, that's a good play to make.
That's where it felt like old times, like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
When that catch was made, I thought, oh, boy.
And I felt bad for Kobe because I do think Kobe is...
He was tight. That was a heck of a catch. I mean, Kobe was all over him.
Yeah, he was.
That ball came under. He fell back. That was a heck of
It was a nice adjustment.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah. Rick, man, what are your kind of... We didn't get your synopsis, your breakdown of things. We kind of went into it a little bit before we got your thoughts.
I'm not far off you guys there. I thought that first quarter was pretty deflating. It was pretty frustrating to watch. They couldn't do anything on offense. I didn't know if it was the players or the play calling.
Yep.
It was just 2 and out, and you can't just keep running 2 and out. It made it really hard for the defense. Like, you get 45 seconds worth of break and get back out there again.
Yep.
So yeah, that was frustrating.
And they played well despite it early.
No, they were playing well. Yeah. You're always going to give up yards and points. That's just going to happen. But no, I thought once the second quarter started going, I think that's when Rankin got the ball for the first time.
Yeah.
Things started.
I think he had like 1 carry in the first quarter. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And it was the first quarter was very frustrating. It reminded me of the last couple of years. And then there were a couple of plays throughout the game where I thought, last couple of years, this goes against us. And sometimes they didn't. Like the Rank fumble, where that
was huge.
And that ball was
the fact that they ruled it
on field, because you were not going to be able to overturn it.
Because you can't overturn it. That's
regardless of it, you could not overturn it.
I thought that as well.
A couple years ago, that goes against us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are talking about the one in overtime?
Yeah.
There were a couple plays like that. No, it was nice to see at the end of it. And then I do wonder a little bit, because they made it sound like on the broadcast that the weather in the third quarter, what Montreal was facing was a big part of why the game was going the way it was. So I was like, well, shit, that means come the fourth quarter, we're into that. So we're gonna need a little of that space. And I didn't like the play call right inside the 3-minute warning. That's when they scored their touchdown right away. I didn't think a full on blitz. and there was nobody in the back, like, and it was just a quick touchdown. Now all of a sudden it's a 3-point game with 2 minutes and 57 seconds. You get to the 3-minute warning. I want to get at least a minute off the clock before they score that touchdown. Hopefully.
Yeah, I want to touch on that for sure, because I have your opinion about some of that stuff. But just to kind of jump back and break, like second quarter, they start feeding rank. That touchdown before the end of the half, huge, like complete momentum shift, because you like. Even if you're going down 13-0, the game's not attainable. The game's not out of reach. It's not unattainable, but you had no offensive motion. So like in theory, it's a 2-score game. You're right there, a couple big plays, which you're capable of, but you would have had nothing. And then that touchdown drive, it was a sustained drive. It was, I don't know how many yards it was. It had to be like 80, 90.
It was a solid long drive. Rank had like a lot of yards.
Yes. So Rank gets going and it's capped off with a receiving touchdown. Yeah. So everything you kind of want to see in a touchdown drive before the half to get some momentum back, you had it. Good time of possession, a lot of yards. Your best player is going, which in this case happens to be on the ground, and you have your best receiver and your quarterback finishing it off with a connection for the touchdown. So everything kind of came together in that sense to get a little bit of momentum for the drive. Rick, you just touched on it. In the third quarter, it was going very well for Edmonton. They looked like a completely different ball club offensively, and so much of that is Justin Rankin. And like his ability to just get the ball and make something happen. It's like what we saw in the Ottawa game. We were like, Justin Rankin, man, how do you do it? Yeah. And then in this game, it was that times like 5.
Even better.
He was, and Coach Killen made allusions to this after the game. There were a couple plays. He was dead stopped in the backfield, 2-yard loss, and just bounce,
making guys miss.
And here's the other thing, just really quickly as a side note, did you guys think of him as like an East-West back last year? I've always thought of him as North-South.
No, he's got that East-West speed.
Yeah,
he's got some bounce.
I think he's somewhere in the middle. Like I don't think he's that.
Yeah, you're right. He's right.
I did.
But he's not that.
Because he showed the flashes of that high-end speed in a couple plays.
Because you know what it is for me? It's like that old school style of thinking when you have 2 running backs, you have to have one that's north-south and you have to have one that's east-west. And Javon is so east-west that I'm just like, well, Rankin must be north-south. But I guess you guys are right. He's not really. His
ability to make a man miss or make 2 miss in a phone booth is very unique.
Oh, it's so special.
We touched on the big runs and, kill him after the game, touched on it, but we got to talk about Cody Fajardo and his involvement blocking on some of these big runs. Seriously, man, it's a Michael Riley-esque type of leadership where you want to play for this guy. You want to play. It gives me chills. It really does. When you see Cody Fajardo, there was a couple where he totally sold out for the block and dove into the man, put his body on the line. When you got your starting Q doing that in the rain in this type of weather, it's everything and above inspiring.
Yes. Listen, man, it is a dude you want to play for.
It is. You want to play with. It's winner. And he's not going to throw for 5,000 yards like I hopefully wish. He's not. He'll maybe have a couple 300-yard games.
He's going to do this.
He'll maybe have a couple 300-yard games. Let's do over under 4. What do you guys think? I say under 4 300-yard games.
Probably under now.
You know what's crazy?
He threw for 231 here, but they're going to win. They're going to win, man. It's not going to be high-end numbers, especially if Rank game in, game out doesn't have these games where he goes invisible. Cody's it's going to be average, but they're going to win.
Yeah, like the fact he'll just get out and do that in the rain. And the other thing is like,
he's not a young dude. He's an old fella putting his body 35. On the line.
Yeah, that too. And the other thing is like, my thing is like, I think with a back like Rankin as the quarterback in that situation, you could kind of tell yourself like, I don't need to be out there blocking. Rank's going to make the play. Because why wouldn't he? Because he's Justin Rankin. And I think the fact that he's kind of like, because listen, I'm sure there's some quarterbacks who think that they're like, I'm not going to go get hurt. Justin Rankin's going to make this play because he's that good. The fact he's still willing to go out there and be a lead blocker is like, and the other thing is, I think, and Eddie, you can speak to this better than I can. I think like when you're a quarterback and you're going out in that situation, being a lead blocker, you kind of accept like, I'm probably going to get blown up on this play, or I'm kind of like, I'm not going to have a favorable matchup here, right? So you have to put yourself in that mindset where like, I'm probably going to take more than I'm given right here, but I'm going to do it to make the play, which I think is a tough spot for a quarterback to be, or like it's a tough mindset for the quarterback to put himself in.
Not when you're a winner, though.
Yeah,
it is a tough mindset for some Qs who aren't about that life. Cody's proven he's about that life.
What a mic drop.
He's a ball player.
What a mic drop.
There you go, Rick.
It's a football player, man. Bro.
Some guys are quarterbacks. Bo Levi's.
Got to get in there.
Right? He's a quarterback. Cody's a football player.
Got to get in there.
There's a difference.
Yeah. He's not going to shy away from it.
No.
Yep. So third quarter, I mean, they just keep rolling. Like defense is playing very well again. The fourth quarter is when it flips a little bit. Montreal's getting some. When Edmonton got the ball back with, I think it was like 3 minutes left, I would have liked to see the offense put it to. Actually, you know what? Let's talk. I think before this, when they were down in the red zone, they ended up kicking the field goal.
The fumble drop or the kickoff drop?
No, wait, was that the one? Was it off Murray Alford's muff punt where they were right there and they gave it to Rankin twice? And they
Didn't
had
love
to kick
that,
the
man.
field goal?
That's probably my biggest quarrel in the whole game is so telegraphed. That second down.
And what have we talked about before all year last year? Put them both in the backfield.
It was so
You've got
telegraphed.
Rankin doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You fake it to Rankin going up the middle and you pitch it to Leak on the outside.
Totally.
Everyone's bit to the middle. He scores on the outside. That game is over. You don't have to go to overtime.
My thing is even because you're getting it within the 10. Okay, give Rankin the token first down handoff just because he's feeling it.
Yeah.
Second down.
Heat check, little heat check.
Exactly, heat check. Second down was the exact same obvious inside zone. Man, you're on like the 8-yard line. Go 5 wide and aggressive. Open it up and
To win the game.
Pass that sucker.
To foot on the
Your
throat.
foot, exactly.
Foot on the
That you're
throat.
up, whatever it was, 2 scores or whatever it
We were
was
up
at
like
that
10,
point.
I think, at that point. You could have made it 3 scores.
foot
It could have
is
been over them.
heel-
No,
It's
no,
on the Adam's
because I
apple.
think it was 7 and the field goal made it 10.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
my
field
bad.
goal made it
Fair,
10. You're
fair,
right.
fair.
Correct. So with that a tug there, that's heel on the Adam's apple, man.
Because I was going to ask, long field there for Montreal coming back. If it's a turnover on downs, would you guys have gone for it on third down, or do you
No.
take the points and
Oh,
make
you
it a
have to go up
2-possession
2
game?
scores.
Point.
You have to go up 2 scores. have to. Dad.
Yeah, no, I get
There's
it.
not even a justification. It's a free 3.
You have to
Free
go
3
up.
to put you up 2 scores.
I get it. I was thinking about it. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about it.
Really?
That's a really long
Well, that's
field,
a no-brainer.
and this was before Montreal had started clicking in that fourth quarter offensively.
a
I think
no-brainer.
they still
No, they were clicking because this was late in the game. This was like
But-
4 minutes left, 3 minutes left.
no. This was before that because when they got the ball back with 3 minutes left after a Montreal field goal to make it 7, that's when I think. That's when they had a really quick 2-and-out that I would have liked to see them close it a little bit better because I had that one in my notes. Listen, like you guys are right. You take the points, you make it
I
a
would have went
2-score game.
aggressive. That second down, go aggressive.
Yeah.
That it's interesting that you really focused on that too, Rick. That was my biggest quarrel with the entire football game was that turnover in the second down play call to just hand it to Rank.
Yeah.
Sure, he's feeling it. You have a chance. So, man, you got some wide receivers now.
Yeah.
Let's use them.
You know that defense is, they know the game is on the line at that point. They know the ball
Oh,
is going
you're
to
loading
Rankin.
the box.
You know they're
You're
going to
loading
go
the
for
box, man.
that. Fake it, pitch it outside the league. Do something else.
Something. You got Austin Mack balling. You someone in the slot.
Yeah, and like for that second down, like I don't even get too creative with it. Like just run.
A slant.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, just be aggressive to put it to the end zone. An inside zone run play call is not aggressive at all.
Yeah. Montreal gets it back. They end up obviously tying it. Game goes because that was I had that one written down. Like I would have liked to see the offense do a little bit better job of kind of putting the drive away with 3 minutes left there. I think they went 2-and-out if my memory serves me correctly. It's a tough one because you're trying to kill clock and get the first down. Like you're not going to be too aggressive with your play calling. Montreal's really going to pin their ears back. So it's kind of a tough spot for the offense. Like it's a little unfair for me to say, well, put it away because this isn't the NFL where, it's a 40-second, right? It's right. It's different. But I would have liked a quick 2-and-out with 3 minutes left when time was at a premium. I would have liked to see
Even one
a
first
little,
down.
yeah, just
One
one,
first down
just
gives
one.
You
Yeah.
like 45 seconds, you're chewing up.
Yeah, I agree.
They did take like 40 seconds off the clock this time. Whereas last game, with that same exact situation, they took like 7 seconds off the clock.
If I can really rewind back to a point that you made in your opening comments here, Rick, about that fumble, how they had a couple of calls go their way. It felt like at
Couple
the end.
just didn't play.
The other one, because I had made note of it too, it was a catch on the sideline. It was ruled. It was a catch, but it was ruled. They huddled up and then they overturned it and ruled it no catch on the field.
Toe on the toe
And
on
then
the
it had to
line.
go, the toe tip. And then it had to go to replay and get reversed to be called a catch. Just the fact that the officials ruled it on the field a no catch, again, very favorable, much like that out of bounds possession for the double league.
It's almost like the football gods have started swinging the other way.
That's what I felt, Rick. That's
Yeah,
what I
me
felt
too,
too.
me too.
When I saw both of those, I was like, oh man, normally
That
they're
goes
not
against
getting
us.
that actual ruling,
Yeah.
right? They're fighting for it, but to get the ruling and then to make video overturn it, that's a good thing.
And full on credit to the Montreal player who dealt with the fumble earlier in the game, who did not try and cover it, walked up and just smacked the ball out of the. I was like, that's
Smart.
That's smart CFL
Savvy.
football.
Smart football for sure. So where were your guys' nerve levels going into overtime? Because
extremely high after I witnessed that coin toss and that debacle.
dude, Malik, I don't
What was
think
he doing?
No, he didn't know what to do.
So, okay, that's bad on the player, but terrible on the coaching
Yeah,
staff.
you gotta-
to send a guy out there not know. But how do we not know what to do, man?
Yeah,
like, come on,
You're
you've
the
been
player.
playing ball long
You're
enough.
the player here. How does that? Yeah, how does
It's
that happen?
OT in the CFL. It's no different
Dude,
than
and
NCAA.
he was really looking back
I
at the
saw
coach
after
too,
he
for
made the call, and then he looks to the sideline.
and the ref like
Just go on D first, bro.
the ref was kind of like
He's lucky the ref gave him time.
Yes.
Yeah, he went
Because
back,
when he
gave him a
reversed
second
it, then the
chance.
ref's like, okay,
Hold on.
what do you want to do here?
Yeah.
Because, man, go on D first.
Yeah.
I think
know what you're up against.
everybody knows that. Give them the ball first. Hold them to 3. I think that's pretty universally known.
Yes. Although
But you get scrambled in the moment. I've gone up for my fair share of coin tosses, and I normally would let the special teamers like deal with it.
Yeah.
You
Like the
write it
special
down in
team
your hand
captain.
first?
Yeah.
Well, I would know, but man, it can get tricky. Like when you start thinking about the wind, which side we're taking, what do we want to do?
what did
first?
coach say?
Yeah, you can. I get the fluster, but in an OT, it's pretty straightforward.
I understood it a little bit because of the weather issue that we saw in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. If you're going a certain way, you've got a serious advantage. But then it's like, wait, you guys we're playing the same way.
Yeah.
Right? You don't play down here
No,
and
it
then go down
doesn't-
there.
forget the
You're
weather,
playing
who
the same.
cares,
They're
man?
playing the same end.
Going
so
D first doesn't
defense,
matter.
Especially Malik. Like he should just be like we want the D on the field because I want to go make
as
a
a
play.
D lineman, a vet.
Now I want to bring this one up because there should have been at least 3 or 4 coverage sacks, where DBs did their job, locked things up down the field, and
Escaped the pocket.
no one got home. And like we're talking extended time in the pocket, like
Broke
5-6 seconds.
and just break and contain.
Yep.
Yeah, too much of it.
Yep.
D line still, there's levels to it. They got to get right.
They got to get home.
But yeah, exactly. That unit has, I guess, overall, if we're looking through 2 games, that's probably been
They got 1 sack.
Yeah, most unproductive, weakest unit. You're not feeling them because you're feeling the DBs even when they're getting picked apart. And then they're creating turnovers. KJ got his turnover.
Yep.
The fumble recovery. D-line got to feel them. You're not feeling them right now.
To jump back, what did you guys think of JJ Ross's PI late in the fourth quarter?
That's when he got there super
Yeah,
quick.
that was
Like,
a PI. He got there
really?
before. Yeah, he got body.
I thought they got there at the same time.
Nah,
man.
he got body, man. He got
All
body.
right.
Yeah.
I thought they got there. He was pissed about it.
I thought it was
DBs are always going to be pissed about it.
He almost picked it off the next play.
Yeah, he did. I know.
He came real close.
He wanted it so
He was
bad.
looking
bro.
right
He
at their
He
sideline
wanted it
afterwards.
so bad.
I thought you're always, even if it is bang, bang, and it looks close, you're going to give the offense usually the favor.
Yep.
Right. And it looked like he got there like right as the ball was coming.
So jumping back again in overtime, Montreal kicks the field goal. I was a little nervous going into overtime just because Montreal had so much momentum, and we had like completely seen Edmonton give these type of games away like 3 times last year, if not more. So I was a little bit nervous when Montreal ended up kicking the field goal. I was like, it's a bit of a sigh of relief because it's like, okay, we can now tie the game with the like we're chill in that sense. We can obviously go out there and win the game. But I was
still
definitely
always just thinking you're nervous because we're worst case thinkers.
Yes.
Right. Because we haven't had that trust built up that they know how to win. Because I was the same way, Deck.
Yep.
I was like, oh man, how are they going to lose this? Blanchard's going to miss the field goal. I'm just thinking worst case.
Yeah, we're conditioned to think that way.
100%,
for sure.
brother.
Yeah.
Because that's all the Elks have done.
He did miss that PAT earlier in the game, which
That ended up
that
looming a little large. Yeah.
11.
And you know what's funny? A missed PAT is such a play where everyone's like, wow. Yes.
Still, it matters.
Yes. Like it's
matters.
Well, because it still put us up 7 or 10 or something like that. Like I can't remember which one it was, but it put us up by a full score, not the 6 when a 7 beats you.
but it is funny because it's such a play. Everyone's like, oh, how does he miss that? Let me grab a drink before we kick off.
Exactly.
And it's like,
And then come down the wire.
you're like, hey, wait, we
Need
could
that
use an
1
extra point. Yeah, exactly. The final play, the Cody's scoring play, not a design play. It was not a designed read option. He told us that after the game. They messed up the handoff.
and
It was an ugly handoff, yeah.
And if you
Yeah,
watch
now that you say
you
that.
watch the play back, you can tell because Justin Rankin, he thinks he's getting the ball. He stops. And yeah, it wasn't, and like Cody's kind of bobbling the balls. He tries to hand it off. He wasn't supposed to pull that on the
Good.
read option. But
that could have got ugly.
yeah, and what's crazy is despite that, it was the most beautiful look had it been called a read option. And that was evidenced by Cody's lane into the end zone.
Exactly.
Really, it's just funny how that worked out. But yeah, if you go back and watch the play, and he told us after, he said it with kind of a laugh. He was like, yeah, I wasn't supposed to take it, but ended up in my hands. I just went for it.
Makes sense.
And
it was an ugly handoff.
It was due. And again, that's a football god type of a play, Rick. A messed up handoff.
Couple years ago,
would have been a turnover, a fumble, or it's a TFL, ranks tackled in the backfield. Now, Cody savvy pulls it, safe play, walk in tug.
Yep.
Ooh, Rick, man, why am I getting chills, Rick?
2-0.
It's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
When you do the right things, like this stuff is real. This type of karma, the way the energy flows out there.
And
Not
we
to
can be
get all
2-0.
spiritual, but it's a real thing when you do the right thing.
Yeah, we can be 2-0, even though our defensive line isn't putting up the numbers that we want to see quite yet.
Wow. That's really cool. That's really cool to hear that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It makes sense because it was a sloppy looking
and
play. It was delayed almost.
Dude, I don't know if you went back and watched the highlights or whatever, but if you go back and watch that one, specifically, you'll see it and you'll be like, oh yeah, for sure.
But then the timing of how it works out, just how Rank had set it up essentially with his domination, that the defensive end was upfield so far, expecting Rank to get it. Had Rank have gotten it, he's not going very far probably.
No,
it was
God,
perfect.
No.
Yeah.
It was a perfect play the way it
That
worked
was going to be a tackle for a loss for probably 2 yards. Of that.
Yeah. And and Jordan Murray on that play, the way he sealed whoever was coming on contain there was just that whole.
There was one play where Jordan Murray gets beat bad. It was on a big Rankin run. He gets beat inside really bad.
Is that when
he's on his hands and knees
just
trying to get up,
spot.
but then the flow is going outside of him and he makes it a block.
Spot.
Just very lucky.
Again, that's the football god thing where you're just in the right play.
Because he got
lost the first part of it, and you just happened to be in the way to make the block. That is not taught. That just happens.
It happens.
And sometimes when you have momentum and things are going your way, that kind of shit happens.
Speaking of good blocks, Carter on one of the screens, just man, it was one of those ones where you're like, this
on the left,
dude. Yes. It was.
When you look up and your lead blocker is him, you're laughing.
Follow it.
You can't tell me Rank is not laughing as he's running behind a wall.
Follow it.
Yeah,
and he's shown now multiple games. Now this is the second year in the Double E. This is what he does.
Yeah.
This isn't just a fluke on a play. He gets out and headhunts, man.
Yeah, he does. And it's such one of those plays. If you're the half coming down, or even if you're the Sam on that play, and you see, hey,
you're honestly balling up and hoping he trips over you.
Yeah.
And you're taking him out. That's the goal.
And the other thing about the block was because again, I'm trying to remember the exact play. The thing about it was it wasn't just a highlight reel where he blew someone up. It was that is textbook.
Yeah.
That is what we need to teach young kids to do when we run screen passes, how to it was so picture perfect.
And I think that offensive line needs a shout out because they were down their biggest pickup this year, right? And is he not the highest non-quarterback?
He is.
Highest paid non-quarterback.
In the
He's
league.
out 6 and you did not even, no offense to him at all, you didn't really notice it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Rick, because I wanted to ask you guys, because again, watching this one, I wasn't really watching for Cam Carter. I don't have a scouting report on him. I asked Coach.
Predicted that he was Cordy was going to move in.
Yeah, no, so funny. At the walkthrough, I asked Coach Killam. I was like, because someone, I think it was Greg's, he had asked him he kind of asked him basically it was Cam Carter's coming in, how, whatever. Didn't quite ask why isn't it Mark Corte? Then I asked, I was how did Corte respond to this? 3 years starter, wily vet, only missed one game for his wedding. And, Coach Killam said, took it as a consummate pro, probably a little internal disappointment on his part, but team guy, kind of the right answer. Then again, I asked Coach Killam at the end of the game, I was how did Cam Carter play? And he was I got to go back and watch the tape. So I don't know, I wasn't watching him that closely, but the fact it wasn't Mark Corte and it was a guy who was elevated from the practice roster and Cam Carter to go in and play, it's got it's tough for Mark Corte for sure. I don't know if this just means he is completely he is the backup center and that's that, because I don't know why he wouldn't have been in over Cam Carter with all he did last year.
He wouldn't play guard. You don't want him playing guard,
but he played guard all last year.
I know. And how good was it?
He was their second best offensive lineman at worst.
Yeah, but they weren't good as a unit. Very good.
Yeah, that's fair.
They really got good when Carter O'Donnell came in week 12.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. And he's expensive. So he's going to be just happy to get his big checks. Like, let's not forget we're here to make money. But he's a good insurance policy. You're going to need a vet like this when a guy goes down in game. Preparing to start a game is a different story. And clearly, Cam Carter did a good enough job. I mean, look at the numbers that were put up.
We watched him closely at all?
No, I wasn't at all. I wasn't at all.
But he didn't stand out.
Which is great as a unit. Yeah, exactly, Rick.
Unless he did and we just completely missed it.
No.
We would have known. I mean, Cody would have a couple more
He
grass
wasn't
stains
getting
on him.
sacked left and right. They were establishing a good run game. But Mark is a guy who's going to dress every game. It's not like just because he's the backup, he's not dressing.
And their
great insurance policy.
Their long snapper got hurt and he came in and he was.
So you're going to need this guy. You're going to need him in different ways. You will throughout the season. There's going to be games where he's going to come in and have to play guard or tackle. That's the reality of it.
Yep.
But to start going into a week, no, he's always going to be the backup every week, I'm sure.
I wanted to ask you guys about TJ Luther because he was kind of the standout of week one. I think probably just for that one. I mean, him and Austin, but just because of that one catch.
Big catch.
Today he was their leading receiver outside of Justin Rankin. 4 catches for 50 yards, 6 targets. He had that one kind of glaring drop over the middle. I just wanted to know what you guys kind of thought of his performance in this one because he's like, I don't want to say he's becoming the second favorite wide receiver, but it's like it looks like it a little bit. It looks like there's shades of it anyway.
Yeah, I forget.
Looks like Kaon's not quite being targeted the same way.
The passing game too. It's been too rainy.
It has. Zach Mathis has been a little disappointing though. I gotta say.
Yeah,
he
has a penalty too.
Yeah, 1 target for
he like
no catches in this one.
Yeah, lined up offside.
Yeah, his first in, he blew it down right away.
Luther though, he had, I forget what play it was, but he had a big first down catch late in the game. Good solid catch like in traffic. You know, and again, that was a ball where I thought, in the past, he's dropping that for sure. It's getting knocked down. Yeah. But man, when a guy's going, what was it, 4 for 50? That's not a lot to write home about when you got a performance like Justin Rankin. And not to, downplay it, but Cody as a whole, he went for 231 and a tug. Like, wasn't a huge passing output.
No.
The passing game wasn't the story. They did enough to win the game. They need to improve too as a passing offense for sure.
It'll help when you get out of this.
Exactly. I was going to say
2 games in a monsoon.
Straight up 2 games there,
but
they're getting first downs.
Yeah, they're 2-0 in these rain games. You might want to keep playing the rain.
And it's ugly. It's gritty. You're just winning. It doesn't matter. Stats don't matter. These types of gritty games very much suit this roster because this roster is not a Bo Levi, Kenny Lawler, stretch the field. That's not what they're made of.
No.
They got to go through rank. He's the straw that stirs it all. By any means necessary, run pass, and then complementary pieces around him.
Yeah, and Rank should prove that he does not need a big hole. Like you can get out of your hands and 2 yards back.
Like Austin Mack will have double-digit touchdowns, but he'll probably just be around 1,000.
Yeah,
it's not. He'll go for 70 yards a game at best. Type deal with Cody.
He's gonna get a lot of
work. Yeah, and we talked about this.
Nothing wrong with it.
We said, buckle up. Don't get disappointed because they're not an aerial attack. This is exactly who we forecasted them to be a month ago.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I would say like the number one kind of comment I get when people reach out, whether it be Twitter, like text line for whatever it is about the offense, is they want to see the playbook opened up more. And I've always kind of been like, guys, pump the brakes, please. But I wanted to ask you guys, like, have we had any problems with how the game's been called offensively? Because I really haven't.
I didn't like the play calls in the first quarter.
The first quarter, they just had nothing. Like I can't even. You got to feed Rankin a little bit more. But to be fair, his first touch was I think around their own 10-yard line. I think he got blown up for a couple yard loss. Like you weren't. I haven't had too much of a problem.
No, I haven't. They've gone I think back-to-back games now where they've been around 425 yards of net offense.
425 exactly. Yeah.
So like for your 2 opening games of the season, that's pretty good. Again, like your opponent Montreal to have 480 net yards offense. So D got to sharpen up in that category. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of this offense. I really am. It's nitpicky. Like
That's
It's
all
that
this is.
second down.
We are 2-0 right now.
Yeah.
It is all nitpicky, but you don't want to give the other team 10 points.
It's that
advantage
second
right
down
away.
on the muff punt. Again, the heat check. Give it to Rank. But get aggressive, Coach Maxim. Don't just run 2 inside handoffs to Rank
man.
when you're on the 8-yard line.
Yeah.
End the game. Go 5 wide. End the game.
What leak back there? Like we talked about last year.
Get creative, which they did in week 1.
Yeah.
He did do it in week 1.
I don't. Did he even see the offensive backfield?
No,
in
Leak
this
didn't
one?
get much burn.
I'm trying to think.
And it's not his game to get burned in. This is a Rankin type of a game.
For sure. Absolutely it is. Rick, I want to let you talk about this one because your hot seat of the week going into this week was the offensive line as a whole, just to see how they would kind of adjust with no Coulterwood Manzi. Yep. So how did they perform to your eyes?
Honestly, they didn't stand out as an issue. And I think that's a massive win for them. You are missing a big piece. And then after that, you have Carter that's there. You know what you have in Carter. The rest of them, you're hoping for the best, but they're not on the same level. So the fact that we went through this, and I don't think Cody got sacked.
We got sacked once. Yeah.
You kept him clean. Rank had his yards. What more do you want? Like this is. You don't have to do too much. Just go out there, do the little things. And you're good. And
especially with someone coming from the P squad.
Yeah.
That's good luck.
Yeah.
That's a solid.
And we did it last year. We had a couple guys at least on the defense that did that last year. Right? Kenny started on the practice squad last year.
A lot of guys did, yeah. JJ. I think Chalen did too.
He did.
Yeah.
It kind of shows you what this team is putting together. Like the fact that they can just start plucking guys off the practice squad. They're there for a reason. And now they're taking spots on starters.
Because here's the thing: when Therese Reed and Ladarius Tennyson get field time, I'm going to be sitting on the highest horse. And be like, told you. So my hot seat coming into this week was Terrell Ford. Not that he had the worst week ever in week 1, but it's just he is such a player you expect. It's kind of unfair. It's like the smart dude in elementary school. Elizabeth, she was the smartest kid in my class. Like we expected her to answer all the questions and get 100 on every test. You know what I mean? It's a little unfair, but Terrell Ford fits in that category.
Unfair.
And the reason I bring it up is Tyson Philpott playing on that field side. He finished with 8 catches for 120 yards. I'm not ever going to panic about Terrell and again a lot of soft zone, but it's. To the first 2 weeks, it's just a shade of all right.
Need a big win against Winnipeg.
Let's lock it in a little bit.
I'm 100% with you, brother. I'm 100% with you. I'm not gonna. It's not time yet to pile on. Not yet.
Not at all.
But you gotta show up against your former club. This week, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Nick Dembski, they got some playmakers over there. It's a big week. If you have a game where you're giving up some booty this week, we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Yep. This is a big week. Hopefully the weather will be normal in Winnipeg, some sun. But I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
Only because of the camp he had.
Yes.
It's not like you had the most stout camp. Mm-hmm. So there's a correlation now and there's a track record.
Yep.
Prove us wrong.
And this is the other thing about, I'm not saying this at all. I don't want this to be misquoted. I'm not saying this at all for Terrell Ford, but football is a sport where, he's so young, this isn't happening, but it's a sport that when the wheels fall off, it falls off fast. It's pretty immediate. Yeah. Obviously that's not happening for Terrell Ford, but it's just,
I'll go in a different direction. Respectfully, I'm just going to squash that. I
know. Yeah.
It's a sport of what have you done for me lately? And he just hasn't done it for us lately. And it hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been the Terrell that he needs to be.
Yeah. Because here's the other thing. Even I would say even in game, he never really got beat last year. He really didn't. And he was so sure coming up and making tackles and just hitting guys and getting them to drop the ball. But even if there was a big play or whatever, he would make up for it with something where he's getting his hand on the ball, he's hitting him, he's breaking up the ball. And it's just we're not even seeing that yet.
No, not.
And now that is also a credit to JJ Ross, who, by the way, you guys know JJ's my GOAT. He had the worst break on a ball I've ever seen in that game. I think it was the third quarter. Dude, it was a, I don't even know what route it must have been just a crossing route or a bang 8 or something, a deep crosser or a bang 8. He would have played it outside shade because he was on the inside hip on the cross, and the ball's coming over the middle. And like not a complete like drop into the bucket ball, and he opens his hips and breaks towards the ball for like a split second, and then he has to like come play catch up, and it was just the worst because he broke on it like he was going to make a play on the ball, but there was nothing in the throw suggesting he was going to be able to make a play. And then obviously the catch is made, and he's there for the tackle, whatever. But it was just I watched it and I tweeted it because I was like, JJ, what are you doing? Because it was the worst read on a ball I've ever seen him have. And I was like
that
JJ,
sometimes.
yeah.
It's like that. It happens fast.
Yeah. But the reason I brought that up is because another thing is with Tyson Philpott's, receptions today, it's like it is a credit to JJ locking down that other side of the field.
Yeah, Sneed.
So, yeah. And
Also,
Sneed, I mean, he had a good game himself, 5 catches, 80 yards. Like as much as
Philpott's a dog though, too.
he is, like he's one of the best.
Bury the league.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Right now, he probably is the best receiver in the league.
They let
Right
Austin
now,
Mack go to make him the number one.
Exactly. In last week, he went for just under 200 yards. Week 1, he went on like he's the best right now. But let me pull up these numbers. Rick, can you pull up
Those guys are going to put up their numbers though.
CFL league leaders, receivers?
Pull them up. It is going to be a little bit skewed just because we got a couple 3 games versus 2 games. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, and like it's weird because I feel like we almost maybe haven't talked about this enough, but we did harp on it a little bit. Like, first of all, 95% positives to take from this game. You just beat a team who's a Grey Cup favorite, who had a quarterback who had never lost. You started slow and came back. You fought off their fight at the end. You won a gritty game in overtime. Like you did everything right at all 3 levels, even if it wasn't always batting 1,000. So nothing but like, I shouldn't say nothing, but more positives to take from this game than negatives. But you did get hung for 500 yards defensively. Like that needs to, you gotta knock that number down.
Always room for improvement.
Yeah.
Where are we at, Rick?
Yeah, so he's sitting right now 33 targets, 24 catches, 389 yards. His yak is 137, which is pretty nice. 16.2 average with a long of 56. They actually have the top 2 receivers. Tyler Sneed's second at 305.
Yeah, Davis Alexander. If you look at his numbers, they're pretty impressive.
Dude, and Davis, we talked about like he is a dog.
He's a good player.
He's a dog. And he's a dog. Like he is.
He's a ball player too. You talk about Cody Fajardo and whatnot. That dude's just a ball player. He's not scared of contact. He's what?
He's leading the league right now too.
Oh yeah, their passing game is on fire right now.
Yeah.
8 touchdowns.
Well, do we want to move on to a little players of the game to wrap this one up? Offensive, defensive players of the game.
Let's do it.
Who do you guys have? But you know what I'm saying? Stop right now. Cause you know what I'm saying, other than Justin Rankin, cause we can't.
Other than J Rank, is there a player of the game outside J Rank?
Cause this is the thing. I said that last week, obviously as well, cause the numbers were, there really wasn't this week because of how valuable he was and what he did. Like 23 total touches, 230 yards from scrimmage. That's 10 yards every single time he touched the ball, and he touched it 23 times. Like that just doesn't happen. And that is the offense. He had 230 of the offense's 425 yards.
Yeah. Like outside of just, giving the O-line their flowers for moving the holes, creating holes for J Rank. It's him. It's not the receivers. Yeah, Austin Mack showing up when he needs to for a tug, but it's not Cody. It's J Rank. It's the O-line. That's player of the game.
If we were taking J Rank out of this, then I was going to say the offensive line because they didn't take a step backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the weather too. Like it's J Rank. We can get cute about it, but let's just call a spade, and that's how they're winning right now. It's
facts.
MOP.
Yep.
MOP. He is the MOP.
And you know why he's the MOP, I think, as well? I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot this point. I think he's the MOP because he is the MVP. And it's obviously different wording, but the fact that's not bad, right? That was put that on a t-shirt. Put that on it. Because the fact he is as outstanding as he is, while needing to be that valuable to this club, that's why he's MOP right now. I meant to get a vote. Like I meant to apply to the CFL Writers Association this past offseason.
I thought for sure you'd be in that.
No, I didn't. I never went through the process. It's like a pretty easy process from what I hear, but I didn't go through it. So maybe, but he will. Yeah. He would be my vote through 3 weeks in the CFL.
He's still 4th in odds right now.
Who's top 3? I got to guess it's Davis, Nathan, and they might be
slipping though.
They might be like Tyson. Yeah, they haven't won a game yet. But I think just betting odds, it's early. They'll still have him up there. And they might have Tyson Philpott right now.
Philly will be up there. I hate this. I hate it. But Chad Kelly's thrown for 400 yards.
He's played
in his only two games now,
played
guys.
very well. He's played
Bo
very
Levi's
well.
in the top 3 with Rourke and Alexander.
Bo Levi's playing well, but I just can't see it being lights out all year. There'll be some lulls. There always is.
That win against BC for them was impressive, though.
It was 5 tuggies, 15 of 18, 300, 5 tugs.
That's a fun stat line. Do you have a defense player of the game?
I'll go with Kenny. KJ.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I think that's a good pick.
Because, you see him flying around and then the turnover where he recovered the fumble, just a shark, finding the ball. Those ballers always tend to find those loose balls, find the interceptions, and he's just one of them where the ball's just drawn to him.
I'm going to go with a little bit of a off the. No, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a crazy pick or anything, but for me, I would go.
I meant Cordell. I said Kenny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I saw. That's weird. I got you were talking about KJ. Yeah.
Cordell Jack.
I'm going to go with Jared Brinkman. I thought he played a really solid game. A little bit underrated. Was making tackles when he was supposed to. He had a couple TFLs. I don't know if he led the team or anything in TFLs.
Yes,
he did. Yeah, in fact, actually, he had 2 TFLs. Robbie Smith had 1. But he's so solid, and he's not always glamorous, which you're often not playing defensive tackle. But I thought he played really solid. Really, he's just sturdy. He's foundational. He's sound, and he's just a really good player. And he's never going to probably pop the way like a Malik Carney would if he gets going, or a Nick Anderson or a KJ, but he is a really solid player, and I thought he was a real difference maker in this one, so he's going to be my defense player.
He's one of those defensive players who don't get that. They don't stand out, but they're out there doing their job. Right, you look at the stat sheet afterwards.
That was like me, totally like me, right? He'll get his sacks, he'll fall into a few, but you're going to do your job and you're going to get recognition doing your job, and the team will be better because you're doing it.
Yeah, and the only recognition you get is during video time because you're not getting it on TV.
No.
Right? No one's then the broadcasts aren't talking about it.
No.
But when the coaches sit there and they focus in and they zoom in and you see who's doing their job out there.
Double teams.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the little things. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. Now when the sacks come, let's start talking about you on TV.
Yep.
Honestly, so to me, this was the defense as a whole. I don't think anybody really stood out personally when you watched the game. So just looking over back at the stat sheet here, Jalen Garnes with 6 tackles and the fumble recovery.
Did he lead the team in tackles?
Had a fumble recovery?
Yeah.
I thought it was Cordell.
They both had one.
Oh, okay.
And then, so the tackles were Garnes, Tyrell, and Brinkman. They were all at 6 tackles.
Which one did Garnes get now? Was that the Sneed fumble or the Alford one? I'm having a brain fart. You guys remember?
Sneed, because the other one was Cordell.
Cordell had the muff punt?
Cordell picked the ball up on their 5 or whatever.
Muff punt? Okay, yeah. So then, I had it mixed up.
Yeah,
I thought
reversed.
Cordell had the Sneed one over on the sideline.
I think Cordell would have had the special team.
Okay.
I think it was JJ who forced that one, but it was tough to. I couldn't quite
was a lot
tell.
of bodies.
JJ did force it. He is the forced fumble.
They gave him credit for it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He had to recover.
That
on
was
play
JJ who forced it. Now, for reflecting back, yeah. So much stuff happens in just 24 hours.
Oh, it is crazy. It's weird how much it blends.
Yes.
Like you watch the game live and you're like,
no,
but
it's like ingrained in it. And even with the notes, then just it gets away from you and other sports. And
dude, my notes are so vague too. Like first quarter, it's like offense very.
There was nothing to write about.
There's nothing to write about in the first.
I went through 3 pencils.
Dude, one of my notes in the third. One of my notes in the third quarter was ranking is good. It's like great note. Yeah, like great job, man.
Put it in the loop.
You shouldn't have to fill out the application for that form now.
Send them these notes.
Ranking is good. Did you tweet it?
Yeah, you're in. No problem.
Oh, one last thing I also wanted to just touch on really quickly. Montreal, when they would load the box and drop 3 into coverage, obviously like pretty standard defensive formation, pretty standard blitz look when you drop out of it. But there were a couple times the Elks really killed them with quick hitches and short crossers. I thought that was really good to see. It didn't happen too much. It only happened to.
I thought the same vice versa, actually. I thought Montreal killed the Elks in those situations too. I thought Davis Alexander just threw exactly where the blitzer vacated from. Yeah. And that's what you're taught to do.
And that Tice, because Tice was able to get a lot of yards off that type of stuff.
Yeah. It could to the vacant space. Yeah, sure. You're
'Cause you
bringing
get frustrated.
pressure.
You're like, that guy was just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just nice little easy play. I thought
Dude.
Montreal had success.
No,
with that too.
I think you're definitely right. Because the other thing is like, Matt, like they needed to get home a little bit more. We might have buried the lead on that. They needed to get home a little bit more. But
You're real on that. I
Is
think
what it
that's going to be the biggest hot seat until they prove it this unit.
yeah.
Like they haven't proved it in 2 years.
And you know what? I was sitting beside Andrew from the Turf District podcast in the press box, and we were talking, and he mentioned, he was like, dude, at some point, Robbie Smith's got to do something beyond
Thank
just
you.
his talent. And I was like, you know what, man? We talk about that a
So it's
lot.
not just me.
Yeah. Now he did have a TFL in this one. I saw when I was looking back at the
I
stat
get you,
sheet,
I
but
get
it's
It's more than that though, man. When you're one of the highest paid players, you got to make plays.
Yes.
That's just how the salary cap works.
Yep.
Right? You got a guy in NHL who's got to look at Darnell Nurse.
Yeah.
Look at Darnell Nurse. High salary cap, you got to be better. That's just the expectation when you're getting paid.
At some point, you can't just survive on talent alone.
No.
Like we got to.
In the Grey Cup game he had in 23 was amazing. Phenomenal. But here we are. It's 26, man. That's 4 seasons ago.
All that, and we're still 2-0.
Hey, my
True.
dog.
That's what it's about. All right, we will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of Elks 101. We'll look ahead to the Winnipeg game, talk some betting lines, talk our hot seat of the week, go around the league, all that good fun stuff. Maybe Steele's Reels. I don't know if we have video yet.
We need Kenny to get back from Europe, so we'll see.
Okay, so we'll get it on this bad boy right here. Maybe.
They'll be on this one right here, but they'll be able to see it up here,
All right.
just like last year.
I'll get some clips.
There we go. Okay, perfect. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for listening and hope you like this recap. Sorry it was a little late. Love you guys.